It's about D&D. For our true nerds out in the chat right now, a new version of D&D is coming soon. Monsters of the Universe is your next first taste. So, Dungeons & Dragons publisher Wizards of the West Coast, best gaming company name, by the way, ever, just full stop, period, is currently working on a tightrope. Their seminal tabletop role-playing game turns 50 years old in 2024, right? That's kind of a while. Some OG gamers before gaming was really even like digital. And developers are busy building the next version to go on sale during that window. But at the same time, D&D is more popular than ever. The jewel of Hasbro's crown, I didn't know it was Hasbro, that's interesting, along with the Magic Gathering, is raking in money hand over fist, which is like genuinely shocking because it's tabletop and there's just not that many ways to monetize that. But anyways, they're coming out with a new one. Sorry, I know you're a D&D player. What do you think?
Yo, I am. And hat tip to the creators of the tabletop gaming experience, because that's 50 years of nerd wedgies, and I've been privy to a lot of those nerd wedgies. But look, it's always good to see something grow and expand. And like you were saying about tabletop gaming and how it is absolutely and completely exploding. Like there's live action tabletop games that have real voice actors, some real actors. I mean, we even have folks like Henry Cavill who's having full-blown D&D sessions with real directors and producers. There's a full-blown animated series that's about to come out on Amazon, if I can remember correctly. I forgot the name of it. The Vox Machina, I think that's the name of it. It is turning into a really huge moneymaker, and a lot of that had to do with the pandemic. People are home, people are maybe tired of playing video games and looking at their television screens all day long, and one of the best places to find entertainment is getting lost in here, and that's what tabletop gaming provides. Are you a fan? Have you created a character? Are you rolling on them dice?
Yes, I've played. Actually, it's funny that you say that the pandemic got people to play, because I thought, for me, it was actually Stranger Things. I'd always wanted to play D&D. I remember back in high school when I was a cheerleader, don't tell anyone, and we would be practicing, and then I would see the nerds, you know, because it's high school, whatever, they're clicky, and I see the nerds, and I wanted to play D&D with them so bad. I saw them, and looked like they were having so much fun, and like, I remember everybody was like, what the fuck are those kids doing? I don't even know, but somehow I understood when they were like just around a table, and their silly little grid map out, and they just like had all these character voices, and I was like, God, that looks like so much fun. But I was scared of them. I thought that they would reject me, and they probably thought that I would have been mean to them. I don't know. It was a lovers from afar / friends, D&D players from afar kind of scenario. Never got to play with them, but eventually I did get into it when Stranger Things came out, and it really popularized it, and it made me realize that I still really want to play. Luckily, I was working with some people who started a game, brought me into it because they knew I was interested, and the rest is history. But I'm a rogue. I'm a tiny little rogue, and I just ninja chop people. Usually I hop on the back of like a knight that I'm with. It's usually like a pretty good duo, you know? Chop, take out half of the enemies before anybody even wakes up in a cave. And
you absolutely can roll with the squad. Yes.
It's crazy though, like how much of like a connection that you can feel with people playing that game, and that you said that like kind of it's all up here, you know, like real, like just I don't know, video games, you don't have quite the same intensity of like gameplay, right? And you would think that it would be the opposite, right? But the games that I've played with my friends, like I remember those experiences. Like we really trekked through, you know, like the Himalayan mountains, and like slayed like, you know, an army of trolls together. Like me and my D&D friends, like we go way back, and like my memories with them are not in this world, you know, and my imagination was filled in so deeply with that experience with them. And it's just, oh man, I wish everybody could understand and experience that level of gameplay and that level of like imagination and connection. So I'm glad that it's thriving. I'm just happy for that.
Yes. Yeah, you said something that's really key too, and I think it actually circumscribes what I was saying regarding the pandemic, and that is you referenced Stranger Things. Stranger Things hit the scene by storm and like blew up. It was like a super hit for Netflix just before the pandemic came out. And of course, if you're not privy to Stranger Things, you've never played it, a big chunk of the foundation of the story is based in Dungeons and Dragons. There's a bunch of these little kids that play Dungeons and Dragons, and then Stranger Things kind of happened, and it just opened the doors for it. But you were also right about that. It's something about going through the shit with your friends, you know, and then just having those moments. And you know what else thing I think of, one of the things that is so truthful about D&D is that it brings out your truth. Like your homie who might be docile, might not really say a lot, is all of a sudden like a 5th level barbarian, and they're screaming from the top of their lungs, talking about kill them all, let God sort them out. You're like, whoa, who are you? And you strike me as that type. Do you have a D&D voice? Do you have a character voice?
I have multiple voices actually, depending on the character that I play as, because I've played a few different games. But anything that sounds like slightly evil, you know, like my characters are always really like morally torn, you know, like does you want to be a good person? I don't want to hurt people, but I really like fucking shit up. So I guess you could say chaotic good. I usually play chaotic good.
Okay, all right, good. Yo,
neutral,
we gotta
neutral.
We
Like,
gotta
I've
have
never let me
another
play
game.
chaotic evil, which is like so boring, you know. I don't know.
Right, you gotta spice it up. If and you already know me since we've been doing this for so long. I have a penchant for villainry. You know, I would absolutely be a super villain. I would not be a super. I would probably be a super villain. And I love to play a character that has a little bit of that. I don't know. Could he not stab me in the back? It's just kind of fun to kind of escape.